Denon. They make receivers. You know about Denon receivers. But Denon actually makes, well, I'm going to rephrase that. Denon puts their name on headphones as well. If you don't recognize these, and you haven't watched my Fostex TX100 review, and my probably out already, but maybe not out already, TH900 review. It's the same set of headphones. Just look at the bill. Look at the system, look at the headband, look at the pads, and then all you got to do is look at the wire, and you know that I'm not lying to you. So Denon contacts Fostex. Fostex makes Denon headphones, and it makes really good headphones. These are the 5000s and the 7000s. Big numbers, many zeros. And they look identical, other than the finish. This is like a matte on this wood, and it is wood. And you go with the 7000s, and it's a gloss with gold. Oh, gold. Okay, fine. But the mechanisms, made in China. Made in China. So both made in China. So Fostex may have designed them and given them their parts, but they're still made in China. And that means very little for the sound quality, because these both are exceptionally good headphones. I haven't heard the TH600s. Fostex is like, I'd call them middle of the range, but they're still like $600. Pretending that these don't exist, because these only showed up about a week and a half after I've had these. So the 5000s. And the only thing I can compare them to directly are the X100s. Which, in case you forgot, I really, really loved. So what is the difference? And this one suffered an injury, by the way. This has been abused. Probably had an explosion of some sort. Destroy them. But they still function fine. Compared to the X100s, these have Soundstage. They have Soundstage. They have sub-bass. They have good highs. Good highs. Nothing overbearing. The imaging is really what gets you on the 5000s. When you put them on, if you have the X100s and then you had the 5000s, somehow, just miraculously, they had the 5000s. Because they're not easy to find. Then there's one or two used sets on Amazon. Yeah. They want $470. Used. It's not a small nut to crack. I shouldn't even have to go over comfort. Clamp. Compare the two. Identical. Pads. Compare the two. Identical. Wires. Compare the two. Actually not identical. One is thicker than the other, in case you could see that. The 5000s cord is thicker than the 7000s cord. And of course someone's taken the 7000 and put a 4-pin XLR on there, so I have to use an adapter to do the switching, but I tested direct. Don't think that this mess is, he's gonna skew this shit. No, it's fine. One adapter at a time. I was just doing my final little presentation listening. So if I had only heard the 5000s, I had gone from the X100s to the 5000s, these would get an amazingly glowing review, and they're going to. They're exceptionally good headphones. Sub-bass, imaging, Soundstage. Oh wow. The problem is that a-hole that's ruined a lot of things for me. Let me borrow the 7000s. Why don't you try these? See how you got those? You try these. And the 7000s, in direct comparison to the 5s, feel like there's an 8% muffling filter on the 5s. You go directly from one to the other, back and forth. Songs, tube amps, solid states, doesn't matter. All of a sudden, all the wonderful things you heard in the 5000s get completely overshadowed by the clarity of tone of everything in the 7s. Do you want to know how much the 7s are? However, used like new, $1,200. That is not a little increase. That isn't like going from like a $400 set to a $600 set. I'm going from a $400 set to a $1,200 set. And they're identical build. It's not like one, and one, they're both made in China. This one actually has a dent on it. But it's like, what? What? Do these live up to their price? Well, there's only one thing I can compare against directly, and that's the TH-900s. Because they're... The TH-900s new are $1,300. And these used are around the same price. And I don't see them beating the 900s. And I don't know if that's just bias on my part, because it very well could be. I am human. But still, these are pretty much as high-end as you could expect a semi-open. They're right. If they don't match the 900s, at least in certain aspects. Sub-bass, it's good, but it isn't world-ending like the 900s. Soundstage, excellent. Not as good as the 900s. Imaging, however, see, here's the thing. Some headphones, when you get up there in the line, they got the soundstage wider and wider. Soundstage happens out here. So you start hearing things further and further away. And the problem becomes keeping imaging, which is the sound of a space between. And you can make headphones that sound like they're really far away, and then they're in the middle, and then they're really far away. See Superlux 668Bs with pad mod. Those things have insanely retarded soundstage. It's way out there. But they don't image very well. It's just sound came from my left, and you turn, and then the sound is in the middle, and then you turn when you hear right, and that's it. You get like 3 points where things can come from. Good imaging is here, 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 here. 2000X is up there. Some of the best. Stacks, bro. Best. And when you get into a semi-closed setup that is going for wide soundstage, usually you have to trade off. Either it sounds like it's going to come far left, and then it sort of like appears here, and then maybe you get a little. These don't do that. Well, I'll rephrase. These have wide soundstage and excellent imaging. These have little less soundstage, just a touch less, and better imaging. The cheaper ones have better imaging, but they're not as wide. So that's your choice. But then you have to add into the fact that it almost feels like there's cotton ball. Once you've compared, here's the thing. Once you've compared the 5s to the 7s, the 5s sound like something's lacking. Something's lacking in the 5s. And it shouldn't. It's these goddamn 7s that have ruined everything. I wish I still had the 900s to test against. I may have to pick up a pair just to put on my shelf. Cover them with a dust cover. Comfort is spectacular. Wiring is builds. Even though it's Chinese build, it's Fostex. What do you want? It's how simple that is. Slides. The end. It's the sound. It's that sub bass. It shakes. It shakes. It brings all the boys to the yard. There's milkshakes in here. And it's better than the 5000s. Yes, the 5000s might image better. That's only because they're not as wide. Their width is... They have less canvas to paint on. And these have more canvas. So, of course, it's going to be spread out a little bit more. If someone offers you the 5000s for a decent price, and right now I'm going to call anything under 500 a decent price for these. The X100s, which I still love, are narrow as fuck. And every detail is crammed into your head, and you got that bass. It's just, whoa! And I take these over them. So they're worth that money. They're worth the money they are used. These, however, are better than the 5000s. Are they better than the 900s? I can't give you that assessment right now. Someone needs to sell me their 900s for cheap. And then I can give this another assessment. But until then, I cannot find... as far as audible flaws, see, this is what makes it hard for Zeos to do reviews. When Zeos doesn't find an audible flaw, he has to sit here and praise the things that are good. And if everything's good, then he's like, fuck. Staring at things. Where's my cat? But comparing the two, it's not muddy. Don't be silly. Don't be ridiculous. Oh, the low end. Juno Reactor, Mind of the Free. Go find that on Spotify or something. Put on Juno Reactor, Mind of the Free. There's these initial, like, just lumps of bass. And it almost sounds like they're distorting the headphones. And it's not, but it almost sounds like it. Just kicking through all my tracks. The clarity of these 7000s is just off the chain. For how wide they sound, it's I understand why there's a price discrepancy. I wish the price discrepancy wasn't like $1,000 or $800, but it's there. It's definitely there. Since you can't buy these really new, I mean, you're just going to end up searching through like new, and this one claims new. These claims the 5000s for $470 new. Where's it shipping from? Doesn't say. From Florida. Florida. Keep an eye out. These are not off the table. They may not be sold anymore, like legit, like you could find them in stock in warehouses, but they're a worthwhile listen. I would almost say if you get the 5s, just pretend these don't exist, and you won't ever want for more from a semi-closed headphone unless you hear the 900s, which I fucking love the 900s. Yeah, Fostex are just. Why didn't Fostex come out with this? Where's this, Fostex? Is it the CH600s? Someone send me the 600s, please. And then this table would be complete. I wouldn't put the 900s on here. That's a completely different league of insane. Although it was competing directly with price with this, but hold on a second. As far as efficiency, both efficient. Getting loud at what time is it there? 9:30, and that's just under noon. The OWN is not a super powerful unit. If it's at noon, it's easy. I think I had 1 bar on the SMSL Sanskrit while I was testing. Yeah. I always get these good headphones when they're like end of life. It's a sadness. It's a sad thing. This will be a good test of the recording rig. I'll obviously have sound demos for both. I will keep the same sound tracks for both. And you can do a thing to switch back and forth. I enjoy them. I enjoy both of these. And now we're done.